What's up, everybody? Renfail here, back again with some more Starfield, and today we're going to be diving into how to modify your ship using the Xbox and the Xbox controller. This one is at a special request from someone who said, hey, while you're putting together your beginner's guide on shipbuilding, can you do a video on how to modify ships, because I'm having a hard time struggling with it and figuring it out. And I went, well, I'm not an expert, but I'm more than happy to put together a guide, and we'll see what we can see together as beginners, as we often do in the games that we play together. So the first thing you're going to need to do is come to your ship's service technician on whatever planet you happen to be on. As long as you find this guy, you're good to go. This is where you're going to be able to view and modify your ships. I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off now so that we can get into the rest of this. Before I go, though, don't forget, if this is your first time tuning in, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams happen here and on Twitch. There's social media across the board, and also a Discord and a Patreon if you want to get involved with our community and the work I do as a sci-fi and fantasy author, or if you just want to generally support beyond Twitch and YouTube. In the meantime, camera off, and let us dive into how to modify your ship on the Xbox using the controller. So once you've clicked the See or Modify My Ships icon or dialogue line from the ship technician, you're going to see a menu like this. At the top, you're going to have the bumpers, LB and RB, which are going to cycle you through your available ships. All of these ships, if they are ships that you have registered, will show up on the bottom right as such. Notice that this one requires me to register it. This is a ship that I got from a mission. I just never register it. What does it mean to register? It means that you're claiming that ship as your own, and you can then sell it and or modify it. At the moment, we can't do anything with it. We could make it our home ship, but we still haven't registered it. If it's registered, it will show up like this. You will then see the upgrade ship icon as well as the ship build icon. You do not see that if you have not registered the ship, so make sure to pay attention to that. We're going to go back through and get to our first ship, because this is the most recent ship that we got, and you can see this is one of it's a junker watchdog, but it's also one of the ships that the pirates fly around a lot if you ever get to take one over. This is what it looks like. I've modified one of these in the past, but I didn't actually document it that much. I just did it on a live stream when I did my first playthrough. I turned it into a little mini storage container. So as you're going around here, on the bottom right, you're going to notice the button that says Shipbuilder. It says hit the X button. When you hit the X button, it's going to bring up this menu, and this is where you're going to get all sorts of controls along the bottom. But let's cover what you can do really quick with the thumbsticks, right? So the right stick is panning left or right, or up and down. That's how you pan, is with the right thumbstick. The left thumbstick moves you left or right and forward and backwards, okay? So that can be a little wonky to get used to. I still confuse it sometimes. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. But that's what the left thumbstick does. I definitely prefer to do shipbuilding on mouse and keyboard, but it's totally doable on the controller once you just slow it down and take the time. It's all good. You're not here to rush. All right, now from here, let's focus on the icons right now that we have. If we're not hovering over anything on the ship, you're going to see a flight check button and an add button, as well as undo, redo, and then exit. So the exit would put us out, or we don't want to do that. The flight check is going to tell us if there's anything missing, or if there's anything that we need to look at, anything mission critical. It says reduce mass or add engines to improve mobility. It's giving us warnings and some tips, and it's missing a weapons assignment. So those are a couple things that we would need to do. If it was a mandatory thing, it would be in red. We would not be able to do anything, but in this case, we could. But let's go to the add button, because this is one that I know people have been asking about as well. This is where you can find all the components to add to your ship. We'll be coming back to that later, but I wanted to point it out at the beginning because it's whenever you're away and you don't have anything selected, that's when you're going to see the add button pop up. By the way, to zoom in is right trigger, zoom out is left trigger, okay? So if you need to zoom in and zoom out like that. So what we want to do here is, remembering that Right is the pan and the move up and down. Left is left, right, and up, down. You're going to notice that as we move through here, whether we're panning the camera or moving the camera one way or the other, it's going to highlight individual objects that are underneath the circle in the middle of the screen. That's your targeting reticle. Anytime that targeting reticle is directly over a module, it will then light up that module. Okay, so let's take this one as an example. Up in the top left, you can see the name of this object, this structure. It's the Armstrong 10 cockpit built by Hope Tech. It has 200 cargo, 5 hull, 2 crew stations. This is the cockpit where you control your ship and view your flight path. It has a 5 mass. Okay, so on the bottom of the screen, you're going to see all these menu items here. Undo, redo, color, which would allow you to change the color palette of the object. Select all, which allows you to select everything, just like that. We would then clear all, unselect that. To individually select, we can hit the RB, like so. Okay. Then there's delete, duplicate, and edit, all of which are important. First and foremost, let's take a look at color. So when you left click down on the thumbstick, it brings up the color scheme for this object. It has every object on your ship has 3 different colors. Each one of these colors has a hue, a saturation, and a brightness, which allows you to modify this however you want. You can move up and down with the left thumbstick, toggle through with the bumpers. But let's just say I wanted to change the color of this. You're going to watch it change in real time underneath me, but it's not as bright as it could be. It's not as white as it could be because we could adjust the saturation as so. We could take it all the way up to the top saturation if we wanted to. Come in here and adjust the brightness. All of these things can be adjusted, and you can go through and do different colors on each one. There's also a recent tab which allows you to quickly jump to things that you may have used recently in other projects, and that can go for all 3 of these. So you'll see there are different things that are marked on that object. We can then change the color. Now I'm going to cancel out of that because I don't actually want to accept that, and you're going to notice it has reverted back to its default. Let's go ahead and select that again and go to click on the edit, and it would just turn red for us and then allow us to then do things with it because we are now opting to edit that. Now this is where things get fun. So essentially, let's get back out of that really quick. We're gonna take that right there. We're gonna, we can select it. This is the piece that we want. When it's green, it is in the proper place to attach to something. When it's red, it's not. Now I'm going to go ahead and, for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to click the A button to edit that module. We're going to pull that module out. You can do so either by moving left or right, or you could pan, however you want to do it. Once you have the object selected, you can pan the camera around to see where you want to move it, but the move itself is with the left thumbstick. You are always moving with the left thumbstick. So once we've moved it out of the way, I want to drop it right there. We're just going to leave it right there. We're going to hit accept, and it is now completely dropped off outside of its own little thing. And this is where I want to talk about mounts. So if you hover over any given module on this area, you'll notice that it has a mount system, which is that little, in this case, it's a circle. That's the connector. So something can connect to this docker on that side. If I hover over this, it's got different ones. This actually has 8, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I say 8, you can't actually see them at the moment. You can only see 2 right here, one on the top, one on the side, and then if we pan around, you'll see same thing on the other side. So what this actually has, because if you notice what it's called the Hope Tech Control Station 2x1. And it's got different hull points. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the thruster. Actually, this is landing gear. We're going to take that landing gear and we're going to uncouple it and move it out. And you're going to notice what I'm talking about here. Because now, when I hover over a module, you can see that it has sides as well. And it also has a bottom. It has a top as well. So if we were to come down here and oops, wrong module, and we were to uncouple this, you would notice that it has side modules as well. And we can put that back in place. We're going to go back because we didn't mean to click that. When you have an object clicked, it will then show all available modules that you could potentially connect to. And as you get up close to them, it'll go green when it's in the right place. If it's not in the right place, or as in the case of here, if there's something blocking it, which that white object is, it's going to show up in red. You won't be able to modify that. So we're going to go ahead and just put this back where it was. We're going to go ahead and put this back where it was. And we have essentially given you a quick overview on how to modify your existing ship. Those are the basic controls. Now from here, what you're probably going to want to do is to go, well, I want to add a different cockpit. So we're going to pull this cockpit out to the side. We're going to come over here. Remember where I said as long as we didn't have something selected, we could click the add button. We're going to go to add. We're going to go to, I don't know where that would be. Would that be in structural? No, it's not a landing. Cockpits. There we go. See, there's all these different things that we can look through. So now we have all these different cockpits, and you can scroll down through these. A lot of them look the same, but they have different stats. So you'll notice the stats on the side, and that's because they're from like a particular series. So those are the Armstrong series. And then we get into the Viking series, which look like this, right? And these have different mount systems and everything else. So that's the Viking series. Then we get into the Samurai cockpit, the Daimo cockpit, and those are the ones that we have access to build with here on this ship. So if we wanted to pick a different one like the Viking, we could pick it, bring it over. Oops. Have to bring it over. Now it's red. All right, there's a little tip I can show you too. If you're moving this around and you're having a hard time and it's red and you can't get it to go where you want, you can't get it to go like up or down no matter how you move the camera and you're trying to figure it out, use the up and down on the directional pad to change tiers. I'm moving upwards to change the tiers right now and go from here. Go down, go up across the various planes. But you'll notice that this particular cockpit, we have to slide it in place. It won't fit. And the reason is because of that right down there. So if we were to leave that and come down here and say, you know what, I want to move down, select that. I want to move that out of the way. I want to go back. I want to select that, bring it back over here, bring it up a tier. Now we can put this one in place. And we have essentially changed and modified the look of this ship entirely with the new module. However, we then have to say, well, where are we putting the docker? Because you can't dock with space stations unless you have a docker in place. So we would have to figure out what we would need to add there. There we go. I just had to find one that was a top mount. Alright, we're good to go. We've modified our ship. It's ugly as hell, but we should be good to go. So I could then take this, and if I wanted to, I could go ahead and exit, and I could save it if I wanted to. No, I don't want to, because in this case, I actually want to go back to this original ship, because I'm going to be using this to do a different build, because I really like the look and feel of this ship. But in essence, that is a quick and easy guide on how to modify your existing ships. Consider it a beginner's guide if you would like, because I am no expert by any means, but hopefully that will provide the answers that some of you were seeking when you were asking me in streaming on chat the other day, if I could help out with the Xbox side of things. So here you go. If you liked it, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams here and on Twitch. Don't forget the Discord, the Patreon, and everywhere else, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Stay safe and happy gaming.